I wanted to give you a chance to look at what this one's going to look like. This is my practice version of it. So it's 326-9-34. And I practiced it before I was going to make this video just so you could see and I could work out some of the details because this one is a little bit harder. So anyway, this will probably be what our front view looks like, our right side view, and a top view of it. You could potentially do a top view right there, but we'll do the auxiliary view off of this one. Notice there's a hexagonal shape right in there. So this was a little tougher just because of some placements and some things. But anyway, let's go back to here. And this is your part that you're gonna work with. So those are all your dimensions. You'll see them in Schoology. It's 326-9-34, the angle cap. So the important thing here is noticing where this point is, right? This part right here, standing up, the square with the filleted edges is actually really easy. And then this doesn't quite work out the same. If you look how this worked out here, this ends up being straight there and kind of straight in there. Goes straight in, and that one end right there looks like it works, but this end didn't work the same way as one would think. But anyway, notice there's a diameter here, and it says across the flats of the octagon. So that's an 8-sided shape right there, which isn't shown here. So then all the rest of those things are there, but notice that the center point of this, you come down 32 and go to that point right there. And that's 70 millimeters out from here. So yes, it is a metric part. Okay, those things are important with that 30 degrees. Okay, so you need to go to your class. So when you go to your class, you're going to go to whatever class it is. Scroll down to that that one there, which was the angle cap, which is this one here. So click on it and get started. Okay, once it gets started, don't forget you can pause and rewind as much as you need to go back to get this. So I'm going to try to get through this thing here. I'm going to go in here, change my units to metric or millimeters, and change those to 0. My angle 0. I'm going to make that 0 also. And then we'll go from here. All right, I think that's enough for changing all the things that we need to change, at least for now. So I'm going to go ahead, start right here on the right front, create a new sketch, view normal to that sketch, and then I'm going to click the center point rectangle because I can put that right on that right there, and that did not work the way I wanted it to, so I'll bring this out here. And then it is equal on all sides, and it is 90 millimeters. Alright, so I'm going to say that's 90. Now that should go across the whole thing there. So I'm going to finish that sketch, go right here, and I'm going to extrude it. It doesn't matter which way actually. So it doesn't matter which way you go. I am just going to go the other direction just because I actually want to make my origin point that point right there, and I don't know why. I just do. If you looked at the practice one I did, it probably is not the same way. And the thickness of that right there was 12, and that'll be good there. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and finish up this top part of it, so don't have to worry about it anymore. I'm gonna put a fillet, the radius on that. If you look in the book, the leader is incorrect. It's in or not in the book, but on the diagram that we have, the leader is in the incorrect space. So I got those on there. See, I'll show you. This leader right here tells you that these holes are 16 diameter, but that right there says it's 10, and it only goes to right there. So actually what I'm going to do is go onto this same surface right here and create a new sketch on that one. So look right at it, and then I'm going to put a point. I'm going to just drop 4 points in here, and then I'm going to horizontally constrain these two, horizontally constrain these two, vertically constrain these two, and vertically constrain these two. Then I'll go ahead and start putting dimensions on to locate them. And this is exactly why I use this origin point here, is because the number that I have is 28, and then I can do the same from here to here and say that one's 28. Then I can go from here to here, and this one is 28. and from here to here, this one is also 28. Got those in place. Then I'm going to turn that there so I can see what's happening. I'm going to pick a hole, and the hole is 16. This is the one that's set from yesterday. So go down here, find the one that's 16 millimeters, make sure it's metric, it's a simple hole, and just put those on like this. And we'll have those things, and we're drilling them all the way through. So that's good. Okay. Now, naturally, the next thing you would want to do would be to put this angle in here, right? But you really, what you need is you need to have that hexagon in place, but to get that in place, you need to know where this center point is. So I'm looking very specifically for a point here. So I need to create a plane on this angle. All right. So I'm going to do this thing on this plane right here. I'm going to create a new sketch and view normal to that plane. All right. So I'm going to move this over here so you guys can see it a little bit better. Where'd my mouse go? Okay. Okay. So why is that not working here? I want to use just an arrow here. I guess it won't do it, but so let me go back to this one then. All right, that was a little bit. That was a good thing to look at, but you can't point with that little dot that way, and I'm not familiar with that tool yet. So anyway, this is a 30-degree angle here, and I've got to get down to this point so I can make that 48 and the 76. Well, I'll worry about the 48 later. It's the 76 that I want to get right there first, so I got to get that plane. So I'm going to try to create a plane right here, and the way to do that is to come in here. I'm going to draw a line, and actually I'm going to pick a midpoint line because I want that midpoint to become the center point of what I'm trying to do, and because I'm going to need that midpoint to locate everything, I'm going to change it to a construction line. All right, now there's two dimensions that I needed to put on. One was this distance from here, from this front side right here, back to there, and that was 70. That was 70, and then this one from here down to here was 32. So 32. So I got my point right there that I wanted to have. The other thing I want to do is I want to put a dimension on here that says from here to here. That should be an angle. From here to here is 30 degrees. All right, so I got that 30 degrees on there. So that's only the ends aren't constrained on that, and I really don't care about that at this point. So I'm going to finish that sketch. Now I'm going to click on this so you can see here. And I'm actually going to turn off or hide these other ones here so you can see this work. I'm going to click a plane. I'm going to click a plane. You probably have the thing that says offset to start off with. But if you click line angle and then click this right here, it puts the plane in that we want to work on. Right? We don't want to change that around. We could rotate it around that line, some angle right here, but we're just going to leave it at 0 and go ahead and check that. So we've got this plane here. I'm going to right click on it, click a new sketch, and I'm going to view normal to that plane. So now it's looking right at it. Now there's some things we need to know, and this center point right here is the midpoint of that line, right? No, that's your origin point. This is the midpoint of that line. So that's really what we wanted to do. That little one there is what we want to put that, the center of our circle. So we'll do a center circle right here off of that point. And that should get us where we want to be. And that number was 76. All right, so I got a 76 on that angle. We'll click on this, and then I'm going to extrude it back the other way, 18. So I'll click this, and we're going to go back that way, 18. Now, this is where some people kind of start getting a little weirded out about it because it creates two parts right here. We'll fix that in a minute. I'm going to go right here, and I'm just going to kind of move this just a little bit. But right here on this surface, I'm going to create a new sketch, and I'm going to view normal to that sketch plane right there. And I'm going to be on, yep, that same center point it was there. View normal to that sketch plane. All right, so it's going to be on that center, and I'm going to go up here, and I'm going to do my octagonal shape. So I'm going to click on this, And because it goes from across the flats, I want to do it so it goes inscribed from here to here. And I'm going to just kind of put this in place, and I'll do something like this. Now I'm going to overdo it here a little bit. Drop this in here like that, and then change. See how as I move this, it changes the numbers right there. That number. I want to get to where it's 8, and that's fine. Now I want to change this. I'm going to do one thing first. Do horizontally constrain that line right there, and then I am going to put a dimension on that goes from here to here, and that number across the flats is 90. So that works out perfect for us. All right. Okay. That's interesting. So that's 90 there. We got that figured out. So now I can go ahead and I can extrude this. Now this gets a little tricky right here, because when I click extrude and click this shape, it only tries to do that. I want to do the inside shape too, and give that a thickness of 12. Alright, so now I got that piece in there. That 12 is in there together. Still part 2. Alright, so now when I got this shape done, I'm going to go back here and I'm going to hide that one, and I want to go ahead and show this plane right here again, because I want to create a new sketch on that plane. And that new sketch, when I come in here, you want to see something really cool, is we can go in here and I'm going to draw on that plane. But to make things interesting, I'm going to right click. You can click section view now, and you do a section and it puts it right on that plane, and I'm just going to accept that this way, because now it's cut where I can look at it and view normal to that plane, and I can see what's happening. And now I'm going to draw a line, and I'm going to just draw a regular line that goes from say somewhere right about here to about here. I might have messed the last one up. That's interesting. And then I'm going to draw a line that goes somewhere right about here to about right here. Okay. I'll do a coincident constraint between this endpoint here and this endpoint right there, so it puts that one on there. I'll do the same up here, coincident constraint between endpoint and endpoint. I'm going to do coincident constraint between here and this line, and I'm going to do the same down here between this one and this line. Now, I also want to do a perpendicular constraint between here and here, which leads me down this path of I did this wrong the first time I did it, which is great to know now. Here's a crazy thing. I'm going to go here and draw a line right here, and then I'm going to draw another line right from this endpoint to this endpoint. Right, so say I turn gray, so now I'm able to manipulate this thing. So I'm going to finish that sketch. Right click here. I'm going to right click in this area here, and I want to turn off my section view so it goes back to being normal. And when I extrude this, I'm going to extrude that thing in the middle. I'm going to do it symmetrically, and it's going to go 12 millimeters. 12 millimeters. Alright, so that's 12 millimeters right here in the middle. Alright, I'm going to come back to this surface. Come back to this surface right here and create a new sketch and view normal to that sketch. So to try to make my life a little bit easier this time, what I want to do is I'm just going to click on this, and I'm not going to do the hole. You probably could, and there's probably a 48 hole, but we're just going to make that 48 right there and click enter. And then I'm going to extrude that upward and cut out what I need to cut out. Now this did some awkward things before, so it's blind. The depth of that was 22, and it is a blind hole. So that should be it. It should remove it out, and that should be what we're doing. Okay, so now we see that we have 3 separate parts. I'm going to go ahead and do a window around all of those parts and click the Boolean function right here. It becomes all one part. Now we're back to being one part, which is exactly what we want anyway. So now when I go in here, we're going to click fillet, and if you looked right in here, you'll see that there are fillets right in here. It says radius 3. There's a radius 3 fillet right there. So we're going to add those to that. So I'm going to click fillet, change my radius to 3 right here, and then start clicking where they belong. And let's see, it was on both sides of this. Nope, 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 nope. So I'm gonna get rid of this right here and get rid of that. Alright, so I want my radius to be on that part right there, and let's flip this around this way. I want it to be here. I do want it to be right there, so that should get me the other side of this too. Nope, didn't do it. There. I think it'll be down here. Should fit right there. So there's that one. This one should be a radius there. Nope, take that one out. And then there was one right here, all the way around. So that's going to make that part look sharp. Yeah, that part looks really good. Alright, so we got that in all the places we needed to be there. And I think we're ready, so we'll go ahead and make our drawing. So I'm going to click create a drawing right here, create that drawing, and I'm going to pick the metric one, mm, BNC mm, there we go, B. You can pick C, you can pick A, whatever you want, but we're going to get the layout the same way. When it comes in here, I'm going to go ahead and pick this as, I'm going to take this view as it is right here like this, and I'm going to project this one over here this way, and I will also project, we can project this one up this way. You could go like this if you want to, wait, I want to project this view right here. You could do it that way because this gets us the thickness, or you could do it off of that one right there. And then we'll do an auxiliary view off of here. It comes down here and puts this one right about there. Alright. Now I'm going to go in here, right click, I'm going to turn off my tangent edges. This one I probably do want to show my hidden lines. It's going to get really complex up in here, but this is the part that's important. This one, I don't know that it's going to show us much other than make things confusing, because really what we want to know is where the holes are, and see, that makes it so that's messy, so we don't want to do that. All those things are taken care of in these other views. Right click here, turn off my tangent lines. I'm going to hide those so I get exactly just the raw piece. This one I'll do the same, get rid of those. We should probably show the hidden lines on this one because there aren't as many. There's only the depths there of those things. Alright, so I'm going to click, let's see, I don't need to do any center points, but I'll do a center line here on this one, and I'll do a center line here and here. Alright, so I got those, and I probably want to do the same here and do the same here. So I got those center lines in place. Now I got my center lines. I'm ready to start making some drawings, making some dimensions. So since I drew this part first, I'll do that first. I want to make sure I got that down pat. I don't know if there's a way to do this. I could just center line here. I could do that and do this and this. This gives us, ooh, whoa. I'm going to back that one up and try that again. Center line between here and here. So that gives us a center point that we dimensioned all the other stuff from before. So we'll come down here, and I'm going to go from here to here and say that that is 28. I'll do the same from here to here. This one I'll put here and say that's 28. Do the same on this side from here to here. Oops. That's 28, and from here to here is also 28. We're also going to look at this and say, alright, so this part right here, this whole thing from this side to this side is 90. And we have one other thing to do here, and we're going to put in, use that right there, and we might get away with this and putting this here and say that that's right here like that. All right, I might move that in a minute because I want to make sure I got this correct. So it turns out that this point, these points we were talking about from here to here, should have a center point right there. That ends up being important because what we want to do is we want to dimension from here down to here to that point was 32. Now that was important for a reason, to make sure we got all the stuff down here right. So we're going to put that in there. And the other thing was the dimension from these things were important here. We did them actually in this order, if you remember correctly. All right. So now that gets us to that specific point. So that's an important point for us. Okay. So next we're going to go ahead and start dimensioning some other things on here, and I'm going to dimension from here to here. And alright, I'm going to fix this. I'm going to go from this line to this line right here and make that 18. I'm going to dimension this line right here, make that one 12. Ooh, that looks terrible. So let's change the positions of those. We're going to change this one and drop this one down to about right here. I want to make sure I get that so it looks good. Put this one in right here. 18. You know what? I'll change that. I forgot to do this. I'm going to change this here. Change my precision. I want to change my text height to, well, I actually want it to be exactly 3 millimeters. And most of the time we'll just go ahead and convert that to just 3. Just make that just 3. Alright. Arrowhead size, we'll change those to also just 3. We don't need them to be too big. Alright, that kind of cleans it up a little bit. And then, alright, so we got the 18, 23. We'll do those here in a second. This one, the depth of this, I actually do want to do this right here on this view. I don't normally like to dimension hidden lines. Don't want to do it if I can help it. Alright, so, but this case I'm going to do that. This one I'm going to actually move up just a little bit because I want to add this 12 right here. Oops, did that not work? Yeah, I want to add that 12 right there. So then I'll drop this back down so it looks neat. I'm trying to make it look neat all the time. The other one, I'll put a dimension in here. This was important too, is to put a dimension that goes from this line to that line. And we'll put this right in here. And I thought that I made that only 1 decimal place for angles, but maybe I didn't. No, I didn't do that in here. Precision on my angular precision, we're just going to switch that back to that. So it's just 30 degrees. Okay, so I got that in there. I got my 32. I got this 32. Looks like I got a radius there, the fillet radius. I could add that in just a second maybe. Yeah, I'll do that here in a second. I want to get these other things down here on the end because this is actually important. Also, we want to get this diameter here is 48. This diameter here as, oops, I got that one, that's the wrong one. I want to get this diameter. Oops, there we go. This diameter here is that. And I'll do a dimension across the flats that goes from this line to, where did it go? There it goes, yeah. And then I got this one here. And I'm actually going to do exactly what it says there and just put across, oops, space ACROSS and flats of octagon. I do like that wording. It makes it really easy to figure out exactly what's going on here. So we got that. And I do believe, the only other thing we have left, well, there's 2 things we have left, is to put on what this is right here. This is why we did this view right here, so we could put this on a dimension from here to here, and that is 12. And wow, does that just get dropped into the wrong spot? It's acting a little bizarre. And we'll put on here, we can put right here, and we're just going to put radius space TYP period. And that's probably good enough. Oh, man, my fingers just aren't working. Period. Alright, and so those are all over the place. So that should be the entire part with our auxiliary view on it. So I'm going to go here, add the name of the part, which is the angle cap. And I'm going to go down here and change the part number to 326-9-34. Alright. Now you can take your time. I hope you took your time, went back as many times as you needed to figure out how to get this thing done. But this is what you want to do. Make sure you get this complete here. At this point you should click submit, or make the PDF and submit that, and we'll call it good. This was a tougher one because of that specific spot. So make sure you make sure you did it right, and make sure it looks good before you turn it in. All right. Good luck.